What is up, everybody? It is Alex from Heavy New York calling from the quarantine zone again, and this time we got Hjelvik on the phone. Thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Hey, happy to be here.
Yep. It's so awesome to have you here. You have the new album, Welcome to Hell, coming out via November 20th via Nuclear Blast. Do you just want to talk about how the making of this record was in terms of the recording, the songwriting? Was there a preconceived idea really? How did Welcome to Hell sort of come to be?
Oh, so you want the full story? Yeah, I'll do my best to give it to you. So I was in my old band Color Talk, which I left about 2 years ago, summer 2018. And I didn't really have a plan to write a solo album at that time, but once I left, I started working on music just to see, how it would go with the songwriting. And then I started writing, and once I had 2 songs, then I started thinking okay, I can actually write the whole album here. So that's how that started. And after about 5 or 6 months, I had written a whole album's worth of songs and lyrics, and then it was time to find some other guys to help perform it, of course. So then I reached out to our guitarist Rob Steinway, who's American and from the band Skeletor. And then we got the drummer on board. He's French, and his name is Kevin Foley. I met him in Bergen here in Norway when he was the drummer for ABBA, so he was at the top of my list when it came to drummers. So luckily he joined right away, and then the bass player was a friend of his, and he came on board through him. So that was the crew for recording the album, and yeah, we recorded it last year, September last year in Portland, Oregon.
Oh, wow.
So that was a lot of fun, yeah.
Wow, so you have an American member, you have a French member, you need a member from Australia now, just to make it more spread out.
Yeah, it's very international, but we have a Norwegian guitarist too now who recently joined, so his name is Remy Nygaard, and is from a band called Inculter. So I got some Norwegian company in the band too now.
Yeah. So being that it sounded like it was very organic, or it almost sounds like that this project was almost kind of like a happy accident in a way. So is it fair to say there was really no preconceived idea of what you wanted Welcome to Hell to sound like? It was just kind of a very organic process, if you will?
Yeah, I guess the only preconceived idea I had was that I wanted to make something that was heavier than what I've been doing before. So that was it. Otherwise, I had pretty much everything totally open. So it was nice to just be able to work on music and just follow my impulses and don't have any boundaries like that.
Being that, I consider this a super group, given your background, as well as, having members of Abbott and Skeletor and so much, did maybe having different members come into the play who played with different projects help maybe influence the sound or bring in a lot of different elements into Welcome to Hell as well?
Yeah, they have their style of playing, so of course, they play the material how to put it. I write the stuff and then they interpret it, by the style they're playing it. So yeah, so they definitely put their touch on it that way.
Yeah, and
so. No, sorry, go
No.
ahead.
I just thought because would you say that maybe the first single that you released, North Star, could that almost serve as a clear representation of what's in store for this whole album, or is that just the tip of the iceberg?
I would say it's the tip of the iceberg. The album's pretty diverse. There's a lot of different influences on there. Everything from classic rock kind of stuff to black metal. But I just thought it was a good choice for the first single because it's it has that intro that's pretty in your face, and it has a pretty hooky main riff, and it has a great chorus, and I just think it was a good choice for our first song, and it's one of my favorites. So.
And you mentioned you wrote 2 songs before you realized that you could kind of make this solo album kind of be. Was North Star one of the first 2 songs that you wrote?
Yeah, it was the second one.
Oh wow! So is that why you chose to maybe release it as a first single, because that kind of like set like a clear representation of how sort of Hjelvik sort of came to be?
Yeah, I wasn't thinking that, but no, I just thought it was like maybe the song that lived the most up to the genre, which I call black and Viking heavy metal. So I thought it was cool to just start with the most Viking sounding song. So that's definitely that one.
Wow! So a track titled Thor's Hammer isn't even more of a Viking song than that.
Yeah, good point. But no, I would say North Star is more Viking sounding because of the choir and stuff too at the end. So, or like a Viking choir, not an actual choir.
Yeah. So like, is it almost like fair to say that like this is almost like a new beginning for you as an artist, or this is almost kind of like redefining yourself, or maybe like did maybe the making of this album help you discover stuff that yet you haven't discovered before?
Yeah, definitely. I would say it's well. Okay, I feel like I'm doing what I've always wanted to be doing, like. Because this is like the kind of stuff I try to bring to the table in my old band through my lyrics and my vocal approach, and also the musical input I had in my old band. So this is just me doing that at like full speed, 100% this time. So I would put it that way.
So, like, for people who may want to get to know you as an artist, or maybe like want to see, who your personality is, who you portray, like, you would say that Welcome to Hell is almost kind of like one of the better representations of who you personally are.
Yeah, definitely, because it's all the influences that I like, and it's like I didn't have to compromise my vision for anyone, and I was just totally free to make whatever music I wanted to. And that was like the main motivation, is to make music that would be cool for me to sing on top of. Because, I have to have fun when I perform the music. So, yeah, that's the main motivation there.
Yeah, and I consider there's definitely like a sound that I would say really represents this album, but I also like got many different vibes, like going from Father War to Thor's Hammer to a track like 12th Spell to North Star, etc. It almost seemed like every song had like a different vibe behind it. So I'd imagine that you also like to experiment and try new things when creating new music, right?
Yeah, definitely. But I like I said, I don't have like when I sit down to write, I don't have like a clear-cut idea of what a song's going to be like. I just sit around noodling, and then like I come up with a riff that catches my ear, and then I just kind of see where it takes me, and that's pretty much been the approach.
You kind of let the art develop a life of its own.
Yeah, I would say so. I just follow kind of my instincts and how I feel about the music, or how the music makes me feel, and then I picture myself singing on top of it, and then I just develop it from there. So.
Have you always needed to hear music to come up with lyrics, or has there ever been a time where maybe like a concept or a story could help dictate the direction of the sound?
Okay, sorry, one more time. You said to come up with lyrics?
Yeah, to come up with lyrics. Like, has there ever been a time where maybe like lyrics or even a subject matter that you wanted to sing about could help dictate the direction of the music?
No, it's for me, it's the music first, but and then I come up with the lyrics, because that's probably just because I've been used to being in the band where I get served the music and then I have to write lyrics on top of it. So that's still how I operate. I guess when it comes to lyrics, like I like to take notes and I write down like ideas for song titles and stuff. So I guess it's happened that I've maybe had like a song title and then kind of try to make a song that fits the song title, but nothing beyond that.
Yeah, nothing could be more heartbreaking, right, than having like the best lyrics ever, and then they're always like one syllable over the arrangement of the song.
Yeah, no, I haven't come across that problem. So I sit and listen to the music over and over, and then I kind of just work out the lyrics that way. So, and then it's refining it afterwards. So,
It's funny too because I've always, from listening to this album, I really feel like, and this could just be my interpretation of it, but I felt like that this album really did kind of like tell a story and really had like an emotional aspect behind it as well. So, have you ever thought about maybe like in the future, maybe taking like a concept album route in a way?
Oof, yeah, that sounds like a tough challenge. I like having loose concepts better than just doing it like full theatrical style, like King Diamond or whatever. So I think I'll keep it loose. I think that's just a more fun way to work for me. It just seems like, well, I'm never going to say never, but it just seems like a too rigid way to work for me. Like, I don't know. It just seems very challenging to just make a story from start to finish and then have like the whole music be like one long album-long song, kind of. So I don't think I'm gonna do that anytime soon.
Yeah, Insomnium did that a couple years ago, and I like where you have to listen to the whole album in order to really get like the whole story, and it worked out great. It's a beautiful album, but that just sounds like such a challenge to do and so tedious.
Yeah, I think I like it better when the song kind of can stand on its own legs. So.
Yeah, and you clearly like the music to also be open to interpretation, right? It's not like you try to like convey a certain message for the listener to like see things from your point of view.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's, like I write lyrics, and it's about, I say it's about Norse mythology and Norwegian history, but I also put a lot of personal experience in there, which isn't like obvious to people. So, but that's how it, that's what makes me write about certain stories in the first place. So, so yeah, I think it's good when it's like not too on the nose and it's open to interpretation. I think that's how things should be.
Yeah, and you clearly take inspiration from many different sources as well, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
In order to like get inspired to write though, like because you mentioned that like with like North Star you were kind of like sitting waiting for a riff. Do you almost kind of like need to look for inspiration, or does inspiration like come to you sometimes?
Yeah, it's been coming to me, and this might sound a little funny, but it's just helped a lot to like be like it's helped to have a break from like after I left my old band, I had some time off, and that kind of did wonders for my creativity. Is just just have a lot of time off and just let the inspiration just hit you, whenever it strikes. So yeah, that's been great for me. I don't know if I answered your question.
No, you did.
I trailed off a little bit. Okay.
The more you trail off, the better.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you I quit smoking weed too, so I would actually say I became a lot more creative after not doing that anymore.
Oh, really? Some people would think some people would think it's the opposite effect.
That's what I used to think too, but it's actually not true at all. So, for me at least.
Before you know it, you'll start a straight edge hardcore band. You'll be singing for Earth Crisis in no time.
Oh yeah, that's the goal.
Never say never. Never say never.
No, I don't think I've even heard that band. I've heard of them, but yeah.
Yeah, straight edge, hardcore. Very different from Hjelvik, but again, we've
there was a big straight edge scene where I grew up and where we started our first band, so I'm familiar with it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was like the big thing when we started our old band Pillar Talk. That was like straight edge hardcore was like there was like 10 bands doing it or something like that, so we kind of stood out.
Wow, I've never heard that.
Yeah.
I thought that was only exclusive to New York, but
no, it made its way over to Sandnes and Stavanger too. So.
we got a competition on our hands.
Yeah, I don't know how that's doing anymore though. I don't think there's too many straight edge hardcore bands. I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm not paying attention. So.
Okay, fair enough. But like, do you almost feel like in the album, and like being that this is something that you've always kind of wanted to do as an artist, do you almost feel like that you, in a way, like portray a character in your music and when you're playing on stage, or is the music just very much an extension of who you are?
Yeah, I wouldn't say extension. I would just say it's like an exaggeration of who I am. because that's what metal is like for me. It's very black and white, and everything's very grandiose and like archetypical or whatever. So I think it's just kind of approaching things from that angle. So, and that's kind of, yeah, that's just kind of what I'm just trying to exaggerate myself in a way when it comes to lyrics and the music and the way I am on stage and stuff. So.
An over-exaggeration. That's a really good way of putting it. That should be the description, an exaggeration of who I am.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Is there like an example, too, that you could give from this album, if you're willing to, if you don't want to spoil it too much, on like what part of you you're exaggerating the most? Is Father War about you?
Oh, I wouldn't say it's about me, but it's probably like about certain feelings I've had. Yeah, whatever, like you sing about things like killing people and death, and so it's just very exaggerated feelings. Like I've felt the feelings that I want to kill someone, of course, but yeah, it's not something I would actually do.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trailing off again, but I guess that's what you like.
Yeah. No. You're on point completely, because I feel like metal, or just really art in general, allows you to kind of like express exactly how you're feeling. Because if you really said on how you're feeling and just said it in words, people would think you're nuts. But then if you put it into art, people seem to have a better understanding of it.
Yeah. No, I had some. I was definitely working through some feelings and stuff when I was writing the lyrics for this album. So it comes out in different ways, like whether it's a song about killing someone or going to the Norse underworld, Helheim, and things like that. So yeah, Ragnarok, that sort of stuff. I guess that's why it's fascinating.
When you incorporate elements of mythology into your sound, is there like a lot of research that goes involved into it as well?
Yeah, the last few years I've been reading a lot of books. Like I've been writing about Norse mythology before, like in my old band, but then it was more on a superficial level, I would say. So I really dived a lot more into it recent years, and I still am learning a lot about it. It's just like a really deep pit you can get lost in. But no, it's been great reading. Like there's like a book called Snorre, which is like I don't know how many thousand pages there are, but it's about all the history of Norway with the Norwegian Viking kings. So has a lot of good inspiration for me in there, and there's old sagas and Edda, and yeah, tons of books.
Wow.
So I'm still working my way through everything.
There's so much to like really digest. Just with mythology alone, there's so much that you could write about.
Yeah, I have a book too now on how to learn Old Norse. So that's the next point on my list, is to start learning more about how they used to speak here in Norway. So.
Awesome. And the final question I wanted to ask you is, do you think that, Welcome to Hell, the making of this album, maybe opened up more doors for what to explore in the future musically?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I learned a lot from writing this album, and I think next time I'll probably I'll know better what I like doing, and I'll probably be a little bit more. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. I'm just gonna keep trying to make better music every time I write something. So, but that being said, I'm really happy with how this album turned out, and really proud of it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this too. It's great to hear you to continue to bring your art to us, and we really look forward to seeing what maybe the next Hjelvik album could sound like. I feel like that this is almost kind of like the beginning of something very, very special that we're excited to see.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, and thanks for the vote of confidence there. So I look forward to the future too.
Thank you. So before we go, I want to thank you so much for your time again. Just is there anything that you would like to promote for this album? Like, could we be expecting some live streams to help promote this? And obviously, thanks to a certain virus that shall not be named. Obviously, I obviously know that shows aren't happening at the moment, but obviously, when all is said and done, and then shows do return again, you'll be bringing this out on the road quite a bit, right?
Yeah, I don't have any any plans to do any live stream right now, but we're planning touring for next year, and we'll probably start in Norway because I think it's going to open up to being able to do shows for like 500 or 600 people soon. Right now it's 200, so that doesn't work. But if it's like 500 and 600 capacity, then you can do a tour, and it's sustainable. Yeah, so that's what we're planning for, and we're going to build a practice space in the basement of my house here, so that's a big project, and yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun together. We're going together.
Awesome. And can you please bring this to the States one day?
Oh yeah, definitely. So we're coming to the States, no doubt.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Everybody, we are here with Hjelvik. Welcome to Hell, coming out November 20th via Nuclear Blast. Be sure to pick it up then. This is Alex from Heavy New York, and we will see you next time.